Hi guys, welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today we are going to continue on with our garden cleanup. So I've got a lot of the beds mostly cleaned out. I have two beds that still have indeterminate tomato. The vines are still there, so I want to get those cleaned up. I want to harvest the sweet potatoes that are in three buckets. We're going to do 3 buckets of sweet potatoes, and then I would like to plant the garlic. So we're just going to go ahead and start digging in. This cleanup I've been doing little by little over the last week or so. So we're going to go ahead and just jump in and see what we can get done. Try to get these beds planted out if they needed planted and cleaned up if they need cleaned up. And then over the next 2 weeks, I'll probably add some compost to top all of them off. I will put silage tarps over the ones that are not going to be planted with anything overwintering, and I'll add some amendments too, and we'll just see what we can get into. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get started. So last time we were out in the garden together, I went ahead and I chopped down all of my determinate tomato plants. Those were the tomatoes that we planted in midsummer so that they could ripen in time for a fall harvest. When we did that, I went ahead and pulled all the green tomatoes off of the vines so that I was collecting all of them at once. But these were the beds that I was least looking forward to cleaning out, just because with the indeterminate tomatoes, that means they grow up all season long. So there was a ton of vine, a ton of clipped to them, and just I knew it was going to be a little more tedious bed to clean out. So I was happy that we got all of that done. And then once we got that bed cleaned out, I came over here and I pulled up the irrigation out of the sweet potato containers. So I have sweet potatoes growing in 3 pots this year. I have tried doing them in canvas grow bags and they grew, but the mice found them pretty quickly. And so this year I tried putting them in hard-sided pots and it was successful. I did have to replant the sweet potato slips a few times because the bunnies ate them. I don't eat a ton of sweet potatoes, so this was the perfect amount of sweet potatoes for me. We ended up getting about, so I forget now because I weighed them a long time ago, but I think it was 20 some pounds, which is a perfect amount. Their sweet potatoes last for a year once they are cured. So after we harvested these 3 pots, I went ahead and took the crate of sweet potatoes down to my basement, and that's where they are going to cure. They've been down there for about 2 weeks at this point, and so they'll be curing down there, and then I'll be able to make sweet potato fries or bake sweet potatoes or anything. I really like sweet potato fries, so we'll be able to use those down there. So I went ahead and ended up just using the soil that they grew in to top off this bed because it was a little low, and this is the bed that I wanted to plant the garlic in. So I moved the irrigation and I just dumped the sweet potato pots out right onto this bed and was able to sort through them, pull out the sweet potatoes, and just kind of loosen the soil and spread it all around so that we could use it to top off this bed. Chicken snacks. I did find 2 grubs when I was sorting out getting the sweet potatoes out of the containers, but not too bad. So like I was saying, we grew a successful harvest. The mice did not get to them. That made me very happy. So I will probably do this again this year. Like I said, I eat more white potatoes than sweet potatoes, and so I definitely liked having a whole bed of white potatoes, but these 3 containers was plenty for growing the sweet potatoes, and I was happy with the harvest. After we collected all the sweet potatoes, I went ahead and kind of broke up the soil that was in the pots, spread it across the top of this bed, and then I went ahead and took a minute to spread back out the irrigation so that I knew when we planted the garlic where I wanted the garlic to go, because I wanted to make sure everything had equal access to water. Pretty good. Let's go put this inside. This bed is ready for amendments. This bed and this bed. Ready for amendments, and then we'll get the garlic and shallots going. Today, we're going to be planting garlic and shallots, and it's the perfect temperature. It's like 50 degrees with a breeze. We've already had our first frost, and I have cleaned out the beds we're going to. I'm going to grab the amendments. I've got all my stuff separated. Ooh, actually, let me take you back and show you how I separated these, which ones I chose, and how we got here. So this first variety that I'm sorting is the elephant garlic, and I got this garlic from M.I. Gardener. I had a whole bed of elephant garlic last year that rotted, so I needed to start over. So I purchased the seed garlic from M.I. Gardener, and I was actually just counting them out to see how many that I had so I could space them, because my plan is to put the elephant garlic in the same bed that I grew it in last year, because just in case any of the little teeny tiny elephant garlic, when it grows, also puts these little like baby bulbs off to the side, and so I knew there's a chance that some of it will be regrowing there. So I separated the elephant garlic, and then I separated the shallots just to get a good count of how many I had that would give me better spacing for that bed. Then the next variety of garlic that I'm going through, this is Music, and I got it from a local organic farm that sells their garlic seed. The cool thing about garlic is that if you plant it once, you can keep regrowing it year after year. Last year, since I had the whole bed that rotted though, I did decide to purchase some more. So Music has really large cloves and they're easy to peel, and I love that. So I opened up all of their garlic cloves and went through and got them all separated. And then the next variety that I have is from my friend and a local gardener, Tom, and he's a beekeeper, and he does sell some of his seed garlic. And so I went through, he had given me Music and Chestnut, and so I went ahead and I separated all of those different varieties so that I could just keep them all separate and know which one was Music, which one was Chestnut, and that kind of stuff. Then the next thing I did once I got them all in their containers was I actually went through the garlic that we grew together last year, and these are a mixture of a lot of different hardneck ones, some that I've gotten through my friends that grow theirs, some that I got from M.I. Gardener, some that I got from a local garden center. And what I do every year is I open them all up, and the ones that have the largest cloves, I replant again. You can see here's one that we grew, and it is significantly larger than most of the other garlic cloves. The trick is if you plant a large clove of garlic, you will get a large head of garlic with larger cloves. So every year I pick the largest cloves out and I replant those. So I took the time to go through all of the ones that we grew together and sorted through and picked out all the largest cloves. And then I went through each of the other varieties that I had purchased, and I sorted through and just picked out the largest cloves from the Music I got from the other two places and the Chestnut that I got from my friend Tom as well. So I got them all sorted, and then I went back through and I counted them, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough to fill up a whole bed. And then I went back through each of them, and if there were any large cloves that I missed, I grabbed those out, added them to the bowl, put them all in separate containers, and then we were ready to go outside and get them in the ground. Every fall, I do add amendments and top my beds with compost. I'm not quite ready to do the compost yet, so I went ahead and just went through the amendments that I had and spread them out. So I had some azomite, I had some humic acid, and some other amendments that I had purchased from M.I. Gardener in the past. And so I just went ahead and spread those all over the beds, and they'll kind of get worked in as we dig our holes. So I went ahead and spread those out on the two beds that we were planting today. Then I grabbed my little dibbler and I tried to start counting out where the holes were going to go and how many that I needed. 5 rows of elephant and 5 rows of shallots. Yes. I just want to also mention, you guys, that on this day there are combines in the background. It is very windy. My neighbors are mowing, and you can also hear kids on the playground. So I apologize for all of the background noise, but this is the day I had to get it all done. So for these elephant garlic, you want to plant them, well, all garlic and shallots, you want to plant them flat side, root side down, pointy side up, and you want to, excuse me, Mr. B, and you want to plant them just about 2 inches underneath the soil. So the top is about 2 inches underneath the soil. I'm going to come through and cover these beds with about another 1 or 2 inches of compost. So I'm going to put it just underneath the soil. And then come back with some compost in the next couple weeks when we top off the beds. So I'm going to get all of the elephant garlic in, and then we'll get the shallots in, and then we'll do new holes for the regular garlic. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with the shallots. I know I've talked about this before in other videos, but I really think shallots are one of the most underrated things that you can plant because similar to garlic, you plant one, it goes through a cold stratification period, and then it multiplies. So around the same time that I'm harvesting garlic, I will be harvesting shallots. And these shallots, for every one that I plant, I will get a group of like 10, and they last so much longer than onions in storage. They'll last a year. So similar to sweet potatoes, once you get them cured, they will last for a year in the pantry or in a cool, dry place. Like I keep mine in my basement. And so I love having shallots. I love the flavor of shallots. It's similar to onion, except a little bit milder and sweeter. And the storage is just incredible. So I like to plant a variety of things, and shallots is definitely one that makes the top of my list every year. One whole bed, which bed? This bed. One whole bed planted in with elephant garlic and shallots. And now we're gonna do this bed. I've got music and chestnut. We're gonna get this thing planted. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna go ahead and make all the holes. This first variety is the music that we've been growing. Nice big cloves. We're just gonna do the same thing. Stick them in, put them in so that you can't see the top, and then rake it over. All right, this next set is from a local organic farm. We'll try this one. This is music too. All right, this next variety is Music 2, and it's from my local friend Tom, who is a beekeeper and does sell some garlic and veggie seeds sometimes. So he's just right local to me. So we're gonna do his Music 2. Oh, you guys got a little wet. That's all right. All right, that's going to do it. We've got both of these beds planted with our garlic and shallots and our elephant garlic, which that feels good to check that off the list. So now we can keep going with some other projects. Like I need to move the asparagus crowns and a couple other things to get this garden buttoned up before the winter. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have a whole lot more growing and harvesting and starting seeds and planting and projects and all kinds of fun stuff still to come. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye, my friend.